Okay, let me ask you a pretty high stakes question right out of the gate. If you lost your job today, or, a sudden medical emergency popped up, could you survive for the next 3 months? I mean, could you actually cover your bare bones living expenses just using money you have stashed away right now? Or would you be forced to do what, frankly, most people do? Maxing out credit cards at crazy interest rates, begging family for loans, or draining your long term investments at a massive loss?
Okay, let's dive into this by looking at a real world contrast. Think back to the global lockdowns for a second. Picture two friends who both lost their jobs on the exact same day. Friend A? Well, he had just $4,500 in savings. As the months dragged on, he had to take out high interest loans, borrow from basically everyone in his phone, and watch his credit score just totally tank. The stress completely destroyed his confidence, and honestly, he's still financially recovering today. But then there's friend B. Friend B had built a 6-month safety net. Now, sure, losing the job was stressful, obviously, but he didn't panic. He actually used those 6 months to focus on himself, upskill, and patiently interview for the exact right role. Today, he's making literally double his previous salary. The difference wasn't luck, guys, it was preparation.
Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we are going through the Ultimate Emergency Fund Masterclass. We're taking the old, boring concept of a savings account and turning it into a tactical, impenetrable financial shield. If you're serious about protecting yourself and your family from life's absolute worst-case scenarios, you are definitely in the right place.
So here's the roadmap for today's whiteboard session. We're covering 1. The financial shock absorber. 2. Calculating your bare bones target. 3. The 6-step liquid formula. 4. The 3T building method. And finally, 5. When to break the glass. All right, let's jump straight into section 1, the financial shock absorber. Think of an emergency fund as your personal Z-Plus security detail. It's a safety net with a massive glowing "Do Not Touch" sign slapped right on it. Listen closely on this one. This is absolutely not an investment portfolio. Its job isn't to make you wealthy or generate massive returns, and it's for sure not a fund for a weekend getaway, a new wardrobe, or grabbing the newest iPhone. It is designed for one purpose and one purpose only: to catch you when life throws a totally unexpected punch. It's there so that when everything else goes sideways, you don't. Let's move to section 2 and see how this builds. Because now we're talking about calculating your bare bones target. Most people completely get this wrong. They base their emergency fund on their gross income or their current, let's face it, pretty comfortable lifestyle. No way. Your emergency fund covers bare bones essential survival expenses. We are strictly talking about housing, so your rent, mortgage, and basic utilities; food, meaning basic groceries, absolutely zero dining out or Uber Eats here; transportation, like fuel and insurance; healthcare premiums and meds; and finally, the minimum debt payments required to keep you out of default. That's it. Strip away absolutely everything else. So the crucial point is how these numbers actually scale. Let's say you tally up those bare bones survival categories and it comes out to $2,500 a month. You take that baseline and multiply it by 6 months. Boom! Your target goal is $15,000. That is the exact number you need to hit to buy yourself half a year of absolute peace of mind. But you might be wondering, why 6 months? Well, it comes down to what we call the safety net ratio, and it completely shifts based on your specific risk profile. A 3-month horizon might be totally fine if you have a highly stable dual-income household. 6 months is kind of the standard benchmark for most of us, especially single-income households or if you have kids. But listen, if you are a freelancer, a gig worker, or a business owner where your income is basically a roller coaster, you need to target a 9 to 12-month cushion. Simply put, the riskier your income, the thicker your cushion needs to be. Moving right along to section 3, the 6-step liquid formula. Let's rapid fire through this framework for where you actually park this money. L stands for low risk, so no stocks, no crypto, no aggressive mutual funds. I is instantly accessible. If you need to hit the ER at 2 a.m., you need that money right then. Q is quick withdrawal, no annoying waiting periods or heavy paperwork, just one click to transfer. U is unaffected by the market. If the stock market totally crashes, your safety net absolutely cannot crash with it. I is independent. Keep it in a completely separate account from your daily checking so you aren't tempted to touch it. And D, divided smartly. And this brilliantly illustrates that last step, divided smartly. We use what's called the escrow split. You really shouldn't just dump all this cash in one spot. To balance instant access with a little bit of interest, you split it up. Keep 30% in a high-yield savings account for absolute immediate access. Put 50% in sweep-in fixed deposits. These earn slightly higher interest but break instantly if your account drops below a certain balance. And that last 20%, that can sit in highly stable, low-risk liquid mutual funds. They usually take just about a day to withdraw, but they offer slightly better returns for the tail end of your fund. If we just zoom in on that 30% high-yield savings slice for a second, you've got some incredible options today to earn compound interest completely risk-free. Look at institutions like Forbright or CIT Bank. They're offering APYs over 4%. Even banks like Peak, Capital One, and Ally offer incredibly competitive rates with zero fees, plus some really amazing native app features like savings buckets. The goal here isn't to get rich, right? It's just to let your safety net gently outpace inflation while sitting completely safe and sound. Okay, let's get into the action plan with Section 4, the 3T building method. If you're starting from zero, you have to execute the 3 T's to accelerate your savings. First up, track. You have got to know where every single dollar is going. Use an app, a spreadsheet, or just good old pen and paper. You are looking for the money leaks, those unconscious daily spends. Second, trim. Once you see the leaks, cut the fat. Do you actually need 3 streaming subscriptions? No, probably not. Just keep one. Cut those impulse buys. Third, and this is absolutely crucial, transfer. Do not rely on willpower here. Set up an automatic transfer from your checking to your emergency fund the exact moment your paycheck hits. Always pay your safety net first. To really help with that trim step, here is an absolute game changer, the 24-hour rule. When you're scrolling online late at night and you get that sudden urge to buy some new gadget or a cool jacket, just tell yourself, I'll buy this tomorrow. Wait exactly 24 hours. By doing this, you completely remove the emotional high of impulse shopping. You'll find that, like 80% of the time, the urge just totally vanishes. And guess what? That money can go straight into your emergency fund instead. Which brings us to our final section, Section 5, when to break the glass. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how we define a real emergency. Just like a fire alarm, this fund sits behind glass. You only break it for true emergency. But how do you actually define that? Well, you run the expense through these 3 ruthless filters. 1. Is it unexpected? Annual car insurance isn't unexpected. It's coming every year. 2. Is it necessary? Fixing a broken furnace in the dead of winter? Totally necessary. Upgrading a slightly slow laptop? That's just a want. 3. Is it urgent? Emergency dental surgery is urgent, but a cosmetic procedure can definitely wait. If the expense doesn't hit all 3 of these criteria, do not touch the glass. Fund it from your regular cash flow instead. I really want you to absorb this next point. Hope is not a strategy. An emergency fund is a strategy. Hoping your friends will bail you out, hoping you won't get sick, hoping your company won't downsize, that is a recipe for absolute disaster. True financial and emotional freedom only comes when you stop relying on hope and you start relying on a solid plan. So here's my final question to you, to wrap up this explainer. Are you ready to stop relying on hope? Are you ready to start building your financial shield today? Look, you don't need $15,000 tomorrow. Start with $500. Start with $50. Just execute the 3 T's, put it in a liquid account, and start building that shock absorber. The peace of mind it brings is literally priceless. If this explainer opened your eyes today, take action right now. And hey, share this with someone who needs a reality check on their own financial safety net. Because when life hits hard, for sure, you want to be the person who is prepared.